It's really good. It's having that, not only two good players, but the experience. Both those guys have played a lot of ball, been in big atmospheres, big games, and so you can certainly tell. And then obviously with some of the attrition that we've had in that room, it's made it, not that we could have predicted it, but it's made it even more important, and probably made those guys even more valuable. So I think they're feeding off each other. For them, they've obviously both played a lot of ball, but at the same time, there's a good, healthy competition going on back there. And both of those guys, there's still some newness to this situation. Obviously, Eric being here and for the first time, and then Kennedy having sat out last year. So they've done well. With our numbers, we've tried to do a good job of trying to find that balance between getting them enough reps to be ready, and also being smart with not having just a million running backs in our roster right now. And but I think they've handled it well. Oh, he understands our system a lot better. I think he's able to self-correct a lot quicker. Typically, even if there's a mistake, he has a pretty good idea right away of what it was. He's certainly been more consistent and more trusting of his decisions, his reads. And I think with that allows you to feel out and play some of the game situations a little bit better. A lot of times that first year you're so locked in on the scheme stuff that you combine that with all of a sudden throw it in the middle of a 2-minute drill or this scenario or that scenario, and can you process all that? Now he's got a good feel of our schemes. He's still got to be committed and focused, and he still has moments where he drifts away, and that's the majority of the time. And he's had a fantastic camp, but that's some of the majority of times when he's not at his best. But with all that being said, as your control and confidence in a system grows, you can feel those situations more, and I think he's been a much better situational quarterback. We're getting better. We're definitely getting better. I think we're starting to find a few different combinations that we like. I think we'll certainly, with some of the depth, I think we'll certainly have guys that'll play. We'll play more than 5 guys. But I think the combinations are starting to settle in, and yeah, they feel good. I think I would say we're probably a little more talented top to bottom maybe than we've been, a combination of talent and experience than we've been in the last couple of years. So I think there's an opportunity to really take a good step there. We're still looking at consistency of the group, from the group, but one of the great things for us right now is our offensive line gets challenged every day by our defensive line, which, I think has a chance to be, elite. And so it doesn't matter if 1s, 2s, 3s, whatever in there. It's a constant grind and battle in there. And it's not only schematically, because we do so many great things schematically defensively, but also just kind of the man-to-man combat, because every guy can play on both sides. So it's been a war, but it's really pushed our guys. And I've seen a lot of positives. I really have. We're still, that group has a chance to be really, really good. And right now we flash really good. And if we can build the consistency, there are some things that get you pretty excited when you watch us practice. It's always been competitive, but I would say, probably every year up until maybe last year, I would say we probably had a sizable talent differential. The O-line was just flat out more talented, more deeper, all that, than the defensive line. Last year that wasn't the case. Last year I would say our defensive line was deeper and more talented, and was better. Now it was a battle. It wasn't like they were heads and shoulders better, but it was a good battle. This is probably, as even as I can remember it, where you feel like when you're playing pretty good, both sides, whether you're looking at it from a defensive or offensive perspective, when you're playing pretty good, both sides can play. And when they're both playing at a high level, there's some really good football out there. And the great thing right now is it's so teachable, because if either one of them don't show up on a day or don't play at a high level, like you can tell, like you get exposed quickly, which is a good thing. And so, yeah, the competition's been awesome. It's been an absolute battle in there. Well, I don't think it's unique in that if you come in and make plays and carry yourself the right way and do things the right way, I don't think, it gives you an opportunity. For Marvin, it'll be it'll be a process throughout his career. He's a quiet guy by nature on the field, and you'd certainly put him in the classification right now of lead by example. But I have seen more moments where he's trying to speak up and trying to push out of his own comfort zone. And I mean, you need a guy like that to be a leader. I mean, again, he embodies so much about, what we value in this program. And he's a great example for, a lot of guys on our football team, and he does have a voice. So, we'll continue to push him to use that more and more as time goes on. And, my hope would be as he does get to the back half of his career here, that he becomes more vocal and even more of a presence there. No, he's totally healthy, doing well. He's been one of our few guys, I would say, that we didn't rep him the other day in the scrimmage. He's had a million reps here, but he's been one of our few guys, I think, that went through spring and the entire camp without missing anything. So he's got a lot of reps. He's really battled. I mean, he really worked hard to both physically and mentally to get past the injury. You could tell in spring that he was heading in a great direction, but was still physically not quite himself yet, not quite the same burst and juice and explosion that he has. But he's done a great job. You could tell he really worked hard in the off season. He had a great summer, came back in as good a shape as he's been in a long time. He's out of the knee brace now. I mean, his explosion, his top end, his acceleration off the line is really is back, and he's playing at a high level for us. So he's had a tremendous camp. He's one of those guys that he wants it so bad that he's one of those guys that he's got to just continue to got to be patient with it. He's going to get his opportunities will come, and he's had to learn some of that patience, just going through this knee injury, because it tested him a lot. I mean, because he's one of the guys, he has such a passion for playing the game and making plays and being out there with his teammates that when he can, and you love it as a coach, it just guts him. I mean, it just kills the guy. But, at the same time, you got to learn the patience and build, and I think he's becoming a more mature player right now. So I've been really impressed. He's had a fantastic camp, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities to make plays.
For more information, you can visit TulsaWorld.com.